Welcome to Nana's Standing Room. I'm glad that you could all join me this evening. Tonight we're going to be making this gift bag out of one sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper. Let's get started. A 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. And we're going to get out our scoring board. And we're going, so now I have a pattern that goes one way. So if you have a pattern that goes one way, you're really going to want to set it up so that it looks the correct way here. If you have a, like this one, it didn't really matter, then you can just score your paper however you like. So I'm going to take my scoring tool. Now, you can also do this with your cutter and a scoring blade. So if you have our cutter, you can use the light gray scoring to do the same thing that I'm going to do here. So the first place I'm going to score is 2 1/4. So I'm going to go up here, find 2 1/4, and I'm going to follow it down. My next one is 5 3/4. See, this is why you have to know math. So you can find these spots on your ruler. 5 3/4, then at 8, and then at 11 1/2. So you're just going to have a very small tab on this side. Okay, then I'm going to turn my paper this way. And I'm going to score at 2 1/4. And with the designer series paper, you don't want to press too hard on your stylus so that you go through the paper because it's not as thick as cardstock. The next place I'm going to score is 9 1/4. Okay. So now we can move this. Now I want to show you what happens if you don't have a cutter or you don't have a scoring tool. The only thing you have is a ruler and some paper. So what you can do is measure over the first spot to 2 1/4. I would mark it here, measure, mark it here, lay your ruler down, and then you can either bring your paper up to make a little crease against your ruler, or you could use anything that's pointed, like a pen where you don't have it pushed out, so you just have the edge. So you could just score it gently with this. So that's just a hint for some people who might not have a cutter or a scoring board. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get out my bone folder. And I'm just going to pre-fold some of the sides so that all these lines, so that it will go together easier. So I'm just going to take it and fold it on this line. And be sure that I get it straight. Then I'm going to go to the next line and get it straight. This just makes it much easier to put together if you've kind of broken down some of the fibers of the paper before you get started. Then I'm going to go to the final line this way, which is right here, and I'm going to crease it. Okay, so if you don't have a bone folder and you want to crease, you could use your ruler. So now we're going to turn it the other way and do our score lines that went this way. This one is right here, so I'm going to fold it there. It kind of naturally wants to fold since you have a score line. And then I'm going to score the top one. Okay, so the next thing we have to decide is which is the bottom and which is the top, which is pretty easy because the top is longer than the bottom. The top is 2.5 inches, and this is 2 1/4 inches. So the longer, which only by 1/4 of an inch, but this is the top. So now we have to decide where we have to cut. So we're gonna find, I forgot to do this little bitty. This is what I forgot to do. This. Okay. So now, I'm gonna go on the back so it's easier to see the lines maybe. Where we're gonna cut. We do not need this piece, so we're going to cut that out. We need this piece, and then the rest of these are gone. Now at the bottom, what we're going to do is we don't need this piece, so we're going to cut it off, the little tab. We need these, but we're just going to cut these lines up to the score line, so they'll still be there. So then you want to get out your paper snips, and you just want to cut along your scored lines. So I can see here's my tab. And I'm just going to cut it off. Then this is the one I want to keep. So I would cut right here. And then the rest of these are gone. So I'm just going to take it this way and cut on my score line. There we go. Then at the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the tab. And we are just going to cut up these lines until the next score line, because this will be the bottom of the bag. Okay, so now we're going to put the bag together. And I want this to be my outside with the green on the inside. So I'm simply going to fold it into like this. And I want to go ahead and do this again because it doesn't look like it's laying very flat. And then here's my tab. Remember the tab that we had? We're going to take, now if you use regular snail adhesive, it's not going to be really strong enough. It might come apart. So I suggest you can either use your multi-purpose glue, or you can use our tear and stick tape, which makes a very strong bond. So this tape, you just kind of lay it down where you want it. I want it to be on this tab. And then you tear it. That's the name, tape and tear and tape. And then since I have my nails, it's kind of hard for me to pick that layer of paper up. So I have my pick a tool, and I simply get just the paper. Sometimes it doesn't like to cooperate. Other times it goes very fast. So I'm just going to get the paper with my pick a tool started, and there we go. Then I'm going to take this side, and I'm going to simply lay it right on that tab, and it will seal. Now we have the beginnings of our box. So the next is the bottom, which we're going to fold this flap in, and this flap. And so we're going to put a piece of tear and tape here, here, and here. Then that will hold the bag, the bottom of the bag down. So let me put some of that there. You probably don't have to do it in all three places. You could just do one across the top, but I like to be sure that my bottom is sturdy. So I want to tape it on all three sides. We'll see if this is going to work. I really love the tear tape because you can just tear it wherever you want it to end. Okay. And then sometimes it gets stuck on your paper because you're not very careful. See what I told you? It has it's very strong. So, I always have to make some kind of a mess when I'm doing these videos. There you go. Okay, then we're going to use the Pick-a tool to take off our paper again. The Pick-a tool is just so convenient for so many things. Picking up sequins, getting dimensionals, piercing paper, and then you can use the spatula side to get some rhinestones or different elements off the paper. It's just very convenient. So, here we go. No matter how many times I practice this, it works completely fine, and then I go to show and it's not as easy, but there we go. One more. Oh, okay. I tore that one a little bit, but it's okay because it's not gonna. I tore out the tape instead of the paper. So we're just going to seal this down, fold flaps. Fold flaps down and then seal it. And there's our bottom. Now for the top, we're going to kind of squeeze it in this way and fold this over. So now we're going to need to make a hole to put our ribbon through. Stampin' Up! Sells this new punch. It's called the Trio Detail Punch, and it has a perfect hole, and it can round corners, and then it has like a little flower that you can put in a corner. And I have ordered one, but I just haven't gotten it yet. So what I'm going to do now, since I don't have that, this is a very long time ago, this was Stampin' Up! It's a rectangle punch for a ribbon. So I'm going to go up here and maybe punch a rectangle hole in the middle. And then I'm going to take again my paper piece piercing tool on the Pick-a tool, and I'm going to stick it through to make a hole in the other part of the bag so I know where. Now my punch will not reach that low. I don't know why I can't see that hole. I can see it now. Here it is. So I just want to make this hole here. I'm just going to make it be big enough to get my ribbon through. And the ribbon I've chosen, if I haven't lost it, is some Night of Navy ribbon, which I think will look so pretty with this. So what I do is I kind of lay it here on the hole, and with my Pick-a tool, I push it through. And I grab it from the other side. I pull it up, and I'm going to tie a knot here at the bottom so that it won't come out. So they can untie their package, and this part of the ribbon will still stay in there. Let me turn it this way so I can see it better. So you want to cut, I would say, about 20 inches of your ribbon in order for this to have enough ribbon, and you can always trim it up, but you want to have enough to make this knot. And perhaps you do not have fake nails, so a knot is easier for you to make. here we go. Okay, so now I have a knot. So now this will come out nicely like this. And then since I have this rectangle hole up here, the ribbon's going to be pretty easy to fit through. I always say that just like I said with the tape, and then it doesn't work. Okay, so I have one piece through, and I need to get the other. So now I can realize that this ribbon is way too long because I just used what was left on my roll. So I'm going to cut this probably about here. Just kind of guessing. And then I'm going to stick this up through this hole. And if I need help getting it through there, I can always use my Pick-a tool. Because I seem to have trouble getting ribbon through holes. So we're going to fold it over like this. And now we can tie a bow. And if you want to, you can, now you can make a thank you tag, a Merry Christmas tag, make it out of birthday paper, say happy birthday, put a little embellishment on, like this one I put the poinsettia on. And there you have it, 2 gift bags ready to go. I think this will be great for teacher gifts, or maybe you have a white elephant Christmas exchange that you go to, or maybe just some candy. I bought a bag of the Lindor chocolate, and the bag wouldn't fit in here, but when I dumped it out, I could fit all but 3 in one of these. So you could put some candy in there, maybe some socks, some earrings, a bracelet, lots of different things, a gift card. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. And I hope that you could see it all, and I tried to keep it in the camera thing. My laptop froze, so I can't tell. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Bye.